So, welcome back to Life on the Road.
Hot Shot Trucking.
Currently not on the road.
Now we're, do we gotta retitle this?
Nope. It's
Okay.
just a brief pause so we can get everything up and running.
Life off the road
Life off the road for a short time.
for now. I'm actually itching to get back out there.
Yeah, we almost took a trip last week.
Two of them. Try to take two of them.
Tried to take two of them, but still just too new and getting everything together and everybody up and running. So we decided to keep it paused a little bit longer, but I actually do miss it. So we're looking forward to taking some trips here and there. So today we wanted to talk about a question that we do get a lot. Since we're home now, we can actually do some of these videos that people have asked for and just never had time when we were out on the road. We were always just working nonstop. So one of the questions that we get a lot, and it's hard to just like answer through the email. Seriously, what is going on back there?
I don't know. She's getting ready for her next video.
I guess. So one of the questions that all right, now that we had to shoot Justin Jr. out of here.
Now she's gone. Take two.
Take two. Let's see how many takes it takes tonight. So, like I've been trying to say for 10 minutes, one question that we get asked a lot that's kind of hard just to answer an email because it's so long of an answer and there's so many variables is, what is the startup cost?
Everybody's answer.
Hot shotting.
Yeah, everybody always wants to know money. Money is the important question for everybody's answer.
How much does it cost and what do you make is what you get asked a lot.
Which rightfully so. I mean, if people are going to leave their careers, they want to know if they're going to make money, they're going to be profitable, and this topic.
Right. So this topic we want to start out by saying, and we try to let everybody know this in every video, we do not have all the answers. I don't think any one person out there has all the answers. I think a lot of things vary on situations, people, what they're looking to get out of something. So we're going to go over this as to the way we see it, what we've experienced, and just give you some general numbers of high and low. And then it's just one of those things that we suggest that then you take that information and decide what works best for you. So I think that overall what it costs to get in it is there's no like specific number.
Definitive answer.
Yes. So, here's some of the things that would vary. Let's start with, first thing you would need is a truck. So those are going to vary because you have the option of new truck, used truck.
So lease versus owned.
Lease versus owned. So let's just say new truck then. New truck. Are you going to have a down payment? If so, are you going to have a significant down payment on that new truck? Are you going to go for a cheaper model or a nicer model? So all those things are going to also vary.
Right. I like to do two little columns right here, but there's so many variables, new versus used. You go 20,000 up to, I don't know, you can go up to under 100,000. So then you go use versus lease. I mean, so putting columns over here would be a little too difficult because this graph would be really big. So it'd be too difficult. So I guess we'll just scratch that and we'll just give you what we have here.
Yep. So anyways, new truck, there's a lot of variables like we said there. What kind, what model, how much down payment, all those things. Old truck, how old are we talking? Are you gonna be something that you're buying for 20,000, 30,000, or is it still a significant used truck that's 50,000, 60,000? Same thing. How much you gonna finance? How much down payment? Lease trucks, and this is our opinion on this. If somebody did try to do that, right there's going to be a cost for you up front. Like, what is it, $3,500 or something?
From what we're being told by people. I think it's $3,500.
Right.
Right off the bat.
And in our opinion, and what we would do or wouldn't do in the situation, we don't like the lease truck idea. The only way that I think it's kind of got a useful purpose is if you're not sure that this is something you're going to enjoy and you don't want to commit quite yet to buying a truck or making that big of a purchase, and you want to do it for several months just to
get your foot wet
and see what it is. But You know, other than that, you know, some of what we're seeing people pay a month for these leased trucks.
You can pay it off in a year.
Their lease truck payment breaks down a week what our truck payment, our gas, and our insurance break down to in a week. So, you know, some of those leases, what you're paying in a week for a lease payment, our truck, gas, and insurance is being paid in that
Right.
week. So that's our opinion.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's a title for another video.
Yeah, but so that still has variables, I guess, there.
Right. So the spectrum's just all over the place.
So, you know, right there for trucks, you could go anywhere from just say $5,000 to $80,000. You know, if you're just putting $5,000 on a truck or down on a truck or a lease, all the way up to if you actually pay cash for a vehicle. You know, that spectrum's that wide.
Absolutely. So you want to just go into trailers, or where are you going here?
Yeah. So next, you know, obviously the next thing you would need is trailers. So I think same concept. Are you going new? Are you going used? Or are you leasing? So
With that, I mean, there's miscellaneous items also. I mean, you got to make sure you have fuel. For those who want to have a little bit of maintenance costs for in reserve, which I think you're going to talk about
yeah,
reserve a little bit.
you're like jumping all over. So let's stay on the trailer.
I am on the trailer.
No, you're talking about reserve money. So trailer, new versus used. You know, same thing. If you're gonna finance one, you put money down. You know, lease one, same thing. You know, used, you're gonna pay it down. I don't necessarily think there's one best way out of all those to go.
It's up to you what you can afford and what you want to do. Personal preference.
I agree.
It's the best way.
And so when it comes to
explain
trailer, that could come from nothing really out of pocket to start to, depending on what kind of trailer you got, $20,000
you
or
finance it to pay for it.
Yep. So there, you know, there's a large spectrum right there. You know, then you have your insurance, which is the next, I think, huge expense that you have. We've seen that vary. I don't know what the lowest we've seen. The lowest I've heard of is what we pay, which is about $3,700 for 6 months for our insurance alone. But I've heard other people talking about how theirs is like $14,000-15,000 for 6 months. So there's a huge variable.
So, I mean, let's just talk about that real quick if you don't mind.
Sure.
That varies based on state to state. And also, your credit has a big factor
Yes.
within that parameter. So we got credit, state, also your equipment, that all, you know, everything varies within that. So
Safety rating on your vehicles too. That makes a difference. If your truck has a high safety rating, that will help with you know, the cost there too.
So Ram's probably higher on that list.
Probably. But so all those things do vary. But the biggest variable I think is state. And so you know, that you break that down, and depending where you live, you know, are you going to pay that every month? And even if you do pay it every month, I think most places require like 2 months down and then your first month or something like that. So it's a pretty significant amount down, even if you're paying it by the month.
Yeah. So yeah, if you pay your 6 month premium, it's going to be lower as opposed to paying that monthly premium. So again, to give you exact cost on this, it's
That varies as well.
it varies.
So, you know, then we go into the miscellaneous fees like Justin was talking about, which are...
So can we talk about those
Yeah,
now?
now we can.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
So go ahead.
Go ahead.
So back to, you know, fuel cost. You got to make sure you have money for that first couple trips. You know, really, I definitely recommend a reserve, but you know, if you're going through a factoring company, then you know, you can get your payments within 24 hours or a day or two.
So this is more about operating costs, than I'm guessing.
So I'm skipping your miscellaneous now.
Yes, you skipped the miscellaneous. So now we're in operating costs.
Why
So
don't
let's
you give me,
scratch miscellaneous.
So why don't you give me something to read off of?
So
then?
it's right here. So operating costs, what Justin's going by here.
I'm going back to
That
miscellaneous.
varies too. Like he was saying, you know, if you're going to have a factoring company, you'll get that money usually within 24 hours. So that will be a big help in how much you have down. If you don't use a factoring company, you're definitely going to need a significant amount of cash in reserve, because some of those brokers may not pay for 30, 60 plus days, you know, and in the meantime, and if they pay in the meantime, you're going to be making your truck payment, your fuel payments, all those sort of things. So on that end, you'd have to have a significant amount of cash reserve. If you're using a factoring company, you know, you have a gas card that's letting you, as you get out your first week or two, pay your gas a week or two out. That's going to help a little bit, but I still suggest that you have money in reserve just to help yourself. You have a tire blowout, emergencies, bills, whatever, so you're going to have some cash reserve. So that could be in, you know, that's a large range too, from, I'd say at least a minimum. I mean, if you're factoring and using gas cards, you probably at least need a minimum of $5,000. So that could range from anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000-$30,000 down, or reserved. So miscellaneous fees.
We were talking about miscellaneous fees.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I talked about trailer tags and gas.
You never talked about that on here.
I might have.
You talked about that before we started.
You don't ever listen.
Okay, well, let's go back and rewind and see whether you talked about it or not.
So let me talk about it now.
Okay, so miscellaneous fees.
So, of course, you got trailer tags. You talked about, did you talk about IRP?
No, we haven't talked about anything miscellaneous.
That's miscellaneous? I think your miscellaneous is a long list.
Yes.
So where are we at here then? I'm gonna let
So
you...
miscellaneous. If you get LLC, that's a fee.
So can we talk about the business startup of this now?
That's the miscellaneous stuff. What you need to start up. Your LLC, your MC number, IRP tax, all those things.
I don't know what your miscellaneous. So anyways, moving forward. So, you know, get your truck, your trailer. It don't matter which order you do this in. You can also, you know, just start by creating your business. You can pay for a company to start your business for you. I've seen those range up to, I think, $2,500 to, you know, get you LLC'd, incorporated, get your EIN number. So again, very big variables. I set our business up myself. I paid $99 to this Secretary of State of Ohio to get that started up, LLC'd. So I was cheap. I did it myself. I didn't want anybody else taking care of it. And so then from starting the business, then you go into getting your DOT number, which the DOT number is free. Then you go to your MC number, which is $300. And then there's other costs associated with that, like the BOC3, the UCR. Also, we had to pay for Public Utility Commission office out of Ohio. That's set up for intrastate. We had to set that up. There's a cost associated with that. So,
and there's a cost of getting your CDL. Just even with no schooling, you had to pay for.
Yeah, which what was that, $85 for me to go take the test portion of it.
Which, if you went for school, that would be probably several thousand.
Yeah, I think I've seen those range between $3,000 to $5,000.
You had to get a medical card.
Medical card, which if you don't have a CDL, regardless, you have to have that medical card. So that's a cost associated with either CDL or non-CDL, regardless of being out there. You have to have that. For CDL, then you got to set up to get into the annual pool of your drug and alcohol testing. Along with that, then you also have to have a drug and alcohol test.
Which I think yours was $75 for getting put in the pool, and then it's like $75 for a test. And so, you know, you may be hearing these things like, oh, $75 here and $85 to take a test, and it don't seem like a lot, but when there's a lot of littles, I mean, that adds up to several $100s
quickly,
very, very quickly. You know, because then you go into the IRP tags. So if you're CDL and you go to IRP tags, that's going to have a lot to do with your state and what you're rated at, right?
Absolutely. Then the next year, that's based off the years or the states you ran in. But so where we at? We got IRP.
Yep. So that could range from, depending on when, you know, you go in to get the tags and it's halfway through the year or 3/4 of the way through the year. Right. You might just have a few $100s to pay if you go in right when your state's starting over for the year, it could be several $100s.
Right,
So once
it's
again,
prorated.
well, yeah. So once again, it's anything from a few $100s up to several. Then I'd say you go into supplies.
So supplies, of course, you gotta have chains, binders, straps, tarps, dunnage if you go out and buy that. So what else we got? I mean, toolboxes, auxiliary fuel tanks. The list can go on and on. You can start out with a bare minimum of straps and tarps and dunnage, or you can go all out and possibly spend up to estimate about $1,000 on this stuff, if not more.
Even with the bare minimum, I suggest having a few extra than that, because it's amazing how many you go through, how many have broke, or how many
break
just
a strap quickly.
Whatever happens, and then you're down straps quickly while you're on the road. So, and there's a lot of other little things that you may not think of when you're starting out that you do once you get going, like the edge protectors, the metal edge protectors, and all this stuff isn't cheap. Some of them are just a little, $50 here, $100 there, but once again, it's one of those things that just keep adding up and adding up and adding up and adding up till
right. And you got PPE.
The list goes on.
list
So
goes
I would
on.
say a good low, more conservative would be around $1,000 for your supplies to get started.
To start off minimum, yes.
Because tarps alone are a couple $100.
Yeah, I agree. Minimum should be about 1,000.
And you talked about the auxiliary, but also AC units.
AC units, auxiliary power, auxiliary power, I'm sorry. So if you want an inverter, those costs can climb. If you throw a bed in the back of your truck, another cost associated with that. So as you're watching this, you're in your mind, you should be saying ching, 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 because those costs are really increasing.
So, here's the way we see it. We have been in other businesses, and, a restaurant business in specific. And for us, when we came into this seemed like, wow, this isn't bad to get started. Because when you go from starting a business that can right out of the gate cost several $100,000 to something that maybe you can get into for 20, 30, whatever it is, thousand, it seemed like
a cheap business.
Nothing. And there's no real overhead right off the bat. You do have your gas and, repairs and truck payment, but it's not like overhead in some other businesses where you have inventory and utilities and all these large payments. So,
and you got to pay, a lot of times you got to pay your employees, sometimes a week, 2 weeks,
yes,
to just get them trained before you even get off the ground and open those doors.
So when you've heard us say, probably in other videos, like when we say things like, oh, this wasn't all that bad to get started in, for somebody that's been in a different position, this isn't all that bad to get started with.
Comparatively speaking.
Yeah, we've had people that said things about us, to us about it because we said that in one of our videos of it wasn't all that bad. Well, for us, it really wasn't all that bad compared to what we had to have before.
No, to start a business, especially a business this good, this cheaply, it's a good business model to get into. I think it's a good investment because of how cheap you can get into this and because you can make money in it.
In my opinion, and this is based on what all you go with starting out, what kind of truck, how nice it is, trailer, all these things. I don't see why you couldn't make your money back, then some, in the first year if you're out there hustling and turning the loads over versus, in some of the other businesses we've been in, it takes several years to start seeing your cash flow back.
Right.
So this is definitely a good business and can be a good investment for people. But I think one of the things that we've been seeing lately with not only having our own Ohio hauler guys but our dispatch guys is if you want to make this work and you want to make money, you have to move. You can't drag your feet. You can't dilly-dally around. You can't. You have to, your whole mindset is on getting that load in the truck and go. Like, plan ahead. Before you start for the day, make sure your truck's filled with fuel so that you're not getting the load and then having to stop for fuel. Like, all these little things make a huge difference.
Right. Which I think that'd be a good video.
I think so
We'll
too.
move forward with that video of do's and don'ts as a starting off.
Yeah, I agree. But that was just my point of, you gotta, if you're willing to get in this and you're willing to put your work into it and hustle, you're going to do well, and it's a good business to recoup your startup cost is
Right.
what I'm trying to get at.
There's a good word right there. Hustle.
Very much.
Bold, bright, hustle.
You drag your feet.
If it takes you 6 hours to do a 3-hour job, maybe you need to reconsider or move
Start
a little
moving.
faster.
Yeah. So kind of to sum this up, you know, obviously there's a low end, there's a high end. You know, on our low end, we would say, and these are all just ballparks of what we would throw out there from just a generalized, you know, generic low end figure. You know, in this business, it could cost you anywhere from low end of $20,000 to upwards of $100,000.
Yeah, 100 plus.
To get into, you know, and the low end would be, you know, at 20,000 would be you financed everything, you financed your truck, you financed your trailer, you have a factoring company, you have a little bit of money put away, you didn't really put anything down, you just paid some cash for some supplies and a few miscellaneouses, stuff like that. You might be in at around 20,000. The high end, we're seeing, you know, if you pay cash for your vehicle or your huge down payment or trailer, you're not doing factoring, so you need several months of cash put away. Some people like to put the sleepers on the back of their truck. That's a huge investment. I mean, you could do a lot.
Yeah, so you can spend a lot of cheddar out here quick if you want to.
So it's just, again, very variable, and I think it's all situation based.
So that's why I can't put some columns up here of cost here to cost here. It just, because the spectrum would vary so vastly. I don't think it'd be really beneficial.
And this is why this is one of those things I just wanted to do a video on, because it's almost impossible to type this all out in an email, because there isn't just one answer to this, and it is just so person by person and
Right.
situation by situation. So my advice in this situation is learn what you're going to need, general basic what you're going to need.
What are you going to do? You're going to do CDL, non-CDL, hopefully CDL.
Then that will help you know what truck and trailer to get.
Absolutely. Then you go to your truck, trailer, just start working on your business model. Also, we didn't talk to or put in here, you get mail. Some people might want to talk to an attorney, just based on the business, or, you know, tax professional.
Those are all little things that could add up. But my suggestion was get your bare basics, CDL, not CDL. Then once from there, you would know what kind of truck and trailer, and you know what a bare minimum supplies. Once you get to that point, I think you need to figure out, do I have money to pay for any of these cash? Am I going to finance it, not finance it? You know, so then I just think you need to figure out step by step from that point on what you want to do, how long term you want to go in this. You know, if you're going to be in this really, really long term, maybe you want to look at a sleeper for your truck.
Right.
I don't know. So I think once you figure out those first steps,
You got to get a base. Once you get that baseline of where you're going, that's when you start building upon that. Then you can start looking at each cost associated with that.
but people out there that are thinking, well, man, I don't have, you know, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to get this started, I really want to do this. I always suggest that you do have to have some sort of financial stability. But if you are a hustler and you're good with money and you can manage your money, you can always come in and start out at the basics. Whether that's just get a basic base model truck that can still do the pulling you needed to do, you know, a trailer and your supplies, and be off down the road. You can work your way up from there.
Right. If you don't have the credit and you have to go to a lease, I mean,
That's another good.
It's a starting point right there.
Yeah, that's another good pro, I guess, for that. You know, if you don't have the credit yet for the lease, but so you know, I don't want people to be scared off thinking, well, I don't have 30, 40, 50,000. If you can at least start out with your bare minimums,
Right.
and you're going to work really hard, and you know how to do things financially, make budgets, you'll be able to move forward and start building on what you
Right.
have.
And I'm not recommending this. I don't ever recommend it, but keep those costs a little bit lower. If you guys have the credit cards to finance some of the equipment and some of those things, that can help keep your costs a little on the lower side. But again, I don't recommend maxing out your credit cards for this. I would rather you save up that money to start buying that before you jump straight into this.
At least like your supplies and stuff like that. If you have to go and get a loan for your truck and trailer, but I would suggest try to have the money for your supplies and some money put away for reserve.
Absolutely. Build up a little bit of reserve before you jump in out here. I don't know if I really want to talk about this right now, but I guess I will just throw it out there. For those guys that are wanting to start this and who are starting this, I would suggest get your MC number, pay your insurance, and let it sit on it for about 30 days. Stay at your current job if you're able to for 30 days, because we're noticing there's a little bit of issues there with brokers, and the guys that are brand new within under 30 days. So just a little suggestion there. I know it's kind of off topic, but I guess while we're on it, I'm thinking about it. Let me just hit on that point real quick.
I guess it kind of does tie in because maybe they want to make sure they have the money to wait out that 30 days and not have to jump right into it, or the means to keep working their job for 30 days.
I think that's probably why I thought about it. So I mean, it's a little off topic, but it's still there. Just a suggestion for everybody out there.
And I'm always for people always going out and doing their own business. We're a big, huge supporter of people going off and being entrepreneurs and all that sort of stuff. But
capitalism, I love capitalism.
But if you are lower on the funds and you're just maybe able to get your truck or your trailer and a few supplies, and you want to lease onto somebody while you build up your experience and you build up your capital to go off and do everything else that you need, the MC number, all these other things, that's an option too. So there's a whole bunch of different ways to go about getting into this business, from fairly inexpensive all the way up to throw on everything you have in it and setting yourself up with a really, really nice setup. So there's always ways to do it, and there's always ways around it. Biggest thing is do your research, learn what it is you want to do, learn your area. Don't listen to any one person on here. We don't encourage you just to listen to what we say. You gotta do your research. This business is just based on what you specifically want and looking for and need.
Right. Again, I think kind of there's such a large parameter out there of what you can do with this business. Hot shot, it's a little separate from being a semi driver. We're not touching on that. We're talking about hot shotting specifically. So I mean,
yeah, so it's just, I guess the best way to sum it up is it's a wide range from fairly inexpensive to you could put a lot in it, but just learn what your financial situation is and how you want to go about it. But if this is something you want to do and you're capable to do it, go after it, follow your dreams. Don't be afraid to take that leap, because sometimes
that's perfect.
You have to just take that leap, and or if you don't do it today, you may not do it ever.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, there's a lot of naysayers out here saying do not get into it. I don't want to talk you into it, but I have to say I disagree with them. There's money to be made out here. Sorry, I said it. Go do your videos on it. I don't care. We're seeing it.
And it's not just that. I mean, we just encourage people in general, just follow your dreams. We've done that on several occasions. Some turn out good, some don't. But if you don't do it now, then when? Don't let your life pass you by, I guess.
That's right. I should open that Warrior Gym, shouldn't I?
So just don't let your life pass you by. Don't let people talk you onto things that you think you're able to do. Don't be scared off. Just do your research. Be smart about it and hustle.
Absolutely. And, it's kind of with this business, if you don't like it at the end of the day, you got a truck you can either sell or you got a truck to get you to point A to point B for your next job, and you sell that trailer or keep it and rent it out, do whatever you want with it. So it's not like going and spend $1 million and some kind of build out for something else where you'll never recoup that money if it don't work. This business model is a little bit different.
Yeah, I mean, used trailers will sell pretty well. They can sell their equipment, things like that. But when you do open restaurants or stores or whatever it may be, I mean, there's a lot of parts to disassemble, and you can't get construction back, and you can't do all these things. So I don't know. That, I guess, would be my thought. Thanks for liking and subscribing. We're getting there barely, so please help push us over that.
We are trying hard. We're trying hard to finally hit that 1,000.
Come on, people. Come
we
on.
got 26 more. So if you're watching this and are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're trying hard to get 1,000. We've had a couple shout outs from other YouTubers. So we're trying to get to that 1,000 mark. We're trying hard. Hopefully we're putting some good information out there. Again, if you're liking this information, please support us. We need your support here. And those who have been watching us, thank you very much. Very appreciative.
Keep sending us emails, especially since we're home. On the weekend, we're going to try to take time and do videos like this and answer questions or do them on things that people have asked us before about, but never had the time. So if there's anything in general you want us to do a video on to answer some questions or anything like that, dispatchohl@gmail.com. If you have any questions about anything else, also real quick, throw out there, since this is going to be going up probably tonight, when it comes, people has been asking about bringing on drivers and dispatch. Right now, I think when it comes to our own drivers, owner operators, we would consider it right now maybe with a CDL driver. So if you are looking with that option of leasing on, just go ahead and send us an email. It's something we can talk to you further about. Same thing with dispatching. We'll probably have some spots coming open here soon. We got a good rhythm, I think, going. And
all right. And if you guys send an email and we have not responded, please resend an email. We're not purposely ignoring you. Just sometimes it just gets pushed to the bottom. Carrie does a great job. She'll try to scroll through and try to find these emails, but if we missed you, please resubmit that email. Shoot us another email. Let us get back with you. We're not trying to ignore anybody. We're here to help.
Yeah, it won't be a bother. We won't be aggravated by it, but it's true, as the day goes on, we get a lot of emails from you guys out there, but also a lot of other things come in there. That's an email where a lot of our dispatch carrier packets and rate cons come. So in a day, we could have like 30 emails come in from brokers, and your email's pushed to the bottom, and we just completely overlooked it.
Right.
Like Justin said, I try to go back through it all the time, but I found myself missing one or two. So you don't hear from us by the end of the day even, and you want to just send another one, it won't be a bother. But yes, we may be having some dispatch spots opening up, and we'd love to talk about it and see how we can help you guys.
Right.
So do that.
Absolutely. We're moving forward with this business. This business is scalable. We are enjoying it.
Off to a great start.
It really is.
We got a new guy coming on Tuesday. Tim, can't wait to get you started. And yeah, it'll be a good week. We're in for a good week. We're excited for another week, and we hope that you guys stay safe this week. And
absolutely. And we are all set up at our new offices in here for dispatching. So we are set and ready. Send those emails. Let's get a hold of you and let's move forward.
And Justin's always hard at work. You have to show him that picture of you hard at work.
With my crayons?
No, not the one with your crayons. The one with you slouching in your chair.
What about the one? You didn't get the one with me napping, did you?
No, not
good.
So anyways.
You think it's funny?
Yes.
I gotta get my naps in.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hope it didn't bore you too much. Send us any questions. Send us some information if you're looking for us to help. And
hopefully this email, I'd love to give you some real world numbers, but in some ways there aren't real world numbers with this the startup cost. So with that being said, you done here?
I'm done here. Are you done here?
I am done here. Don't my basil bush look good?
It looks great. I'm surprised you're letting it be in here.
I made some pizza, homemade pizza today with some whole wheat flour and some
So you're not done.
double O 50-50 mix with some avocado oil. That's a good pizza and some fresh basil.
So you wasn't done.
What are you talking about? I am done.
Okay, so are you done now?
I am done. A few years ago, we had a garden. I brought in a basil bush. I brought inside. It was like 3 foot wide.
It was a dead stick.
No, not at first.
Listen,
It was
this,
a big giant basil bush, but it made the house smell like basil. So Carrie made me get rid of it. So again, like and subscribe.
until
before
next time.
Carrie rambles on.
Till next time.
I'm trying to finish this part. Till next time, be safe.
God bless.